Hey everybody, welcome back to Reach Out Reptiles. My name is Garrett Hartle.
And my name is Aiden Paredes. And in this week's video, we're going to show you every type of snake that we have for sale.
Just kidding. So actually, we're going to do this kind of like a little bit more uncut. It's not a live video. But I got something I wanted to talk to you guys about, just sort of in a, little bit more kickback sort of feel. So while we are going to show you every single video we have for sale, I want to say that this is the beginning of the breeding season, so there's not a ton of stuff left. We'll start with the older one. I have a singular female golden child snow. Hi, honey. This is a dwarf and super dwarf cross. Only a handful of these have ever been sold. This girl is, I don't know, she's probably got the cleanest pattern of all of them. Just almost no side rosettes. Beautiful snake. I'm sure that the lighting here does her no justice because this girl is gorgeous. Almost like a translucent kind of see-through highlighter type color. Pretty cool, but she's a 1.5 years old, and that's a serious investment animal right there. Like I said, there's only a handful of these that even exist, and getting the snow is hard enough. All right, let's come over here. We got another snow. We'll do this way. This guy's a year younger. He hatched back in April. And if you don't like the golden child snow, here we have a motley probable tiger. But I'm not willing to stake my reputation on it. So if you buy this guy, you get that gene for free. But a motley snow male. Actually, Aiden, those would make a pretty good pair, don't you think? You're a motley golden child fan.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. The black snake, white snake, all in one.
Yes, that would be really cool.
All right. So some other snow projects. These are a little bit older animals. The first time, we like those purple snows, but I really want to see an orange glow snow. I don't have an orange glow to show you, so you can Google search that one. But this girl was from a very small motley Indo caramel, bred to a pure anery Jampea. Look at all that Jampea influence. She's got those crazy head spots, those little freckles there, and even the motley pattern is very, just single scale wide, really refined. And I'm really happy with these guys. They're getting cooler and cooler as they grow. So I've got a female of those. She'll be a year old in January, which is just a couple months away now. And any kind of snow project, albino anery thing that you would breed her to would make you potentially the world's first orange glow snows, because they haven't been made yet. And here's her brother. Now again, these will be a year old in January. So this is pretty exciting. I mean, these guys should breed next season, small as they are. They still have a little bit of growing yet to do, but you can see the Jamp influence. Really cool neck pattern, and then how it gets real jaggedy there. I'm a sucker for the Jamp influence. I really do like the morph stuff, but you know me, just a little bit of locality blood goes a long way. That reminds me, I have this girl. She's kind of an oddball. Normally everything we sell is dwarf or super dwarf, which by definition means 50% or higher. But this is a beautiful little girl that is 25% Jampea, and she is the morph that a lot of people want. She's the anery motley tiger, and they're just crazy colors. They get nicer and nicer, but with so little, if it's something that's 25% dwarf or super dwarf, there's a huge variety in size there, so that animal should really be regarded as a mainland. We have this guy. Everybody that wants, again, dwarf and super dwarf cross. So this guy will get 8 or 9 feet, which sounds big, but in reality, that's pretty close to ball python size, like a big ball python, because they're so long and lean. But this is an albino golden child tiger, possible het snow. Can you see the eye on that thing, Aiden? Look at that thing.
I'm trying to get it to focus. Yeah, there we go.
Look at that. It just looks like a lace doily over top of a ruby or something. They're crazy. Pretty hard to appreciate, but I know those of you guys who saw us in Tinley got to see these guys up close and kind of see some of the more subtle details that you don't get to see. Yeah, I think we're getting really close. I do have one Kayuadi het albino left. So Kayuadi is considered a super dwarf locality, but it is a bigger super dwarf locality. So this girl I expect to get probably 10 or 12 feet, which is the size of maybe a boa. You know, that's still not very big. It's like 25 pounds. And the Kayuadi locality has a lot of very bold black and nice contrast. Makes for great albinos, and she is a het albino. That's probably the cheapest animal that we have, and a female, you know, so they go pretty quick. Do we have anything else, Aiden?
I don't think so.
That's pretty much it. We got the snow, we got, yeah, that's it. We got basically cleaned out in Tinley. Now, let me talk to you about something, because we actually have, oh my gosh, Aiden, are you sure you cleaned today?
Yeah, I cleaned all these cages.
Well, so we're actually breeding, and we have some breeding behavior going on here. It's kind of fun. We pulled the divider between these two, and they're on my Instagram too if you want to get a closer up look at mom. But we're starting right now to make these pairings. We have, you want to update on the Karompas? Everybody wants an update on the Karompas. This girl shed a little while ago, and I'm just continuing to put them together. We'll see what happens, but she looks pretty big and puffy back here. Doesn't really mean anything because these guys love to throw me off with that, but this is the smallest super dwarf locality, what's generally regarded like on averages the smallest locality. And that would be the first time they were ever successfully bred as pures in the US. So anyway, these animals that are breeding now, you know, basically when they're breeding, they're pregnant for about, or gravid for 2 months, and then the eggs incubate for almost 3 months. So you're talking about 5 months. Now the breeding season is underway. We don't have any eggs yet, but we're getting pretty close with some of these, which means our first animals for availability in 2020 should start to come out around, what, January, February? So that's kind of what you're looking at. And I wanted to explain a little bit about how we do this. I get probably literally dozens of, whether it's direct messages on Instagram, email, text messages, people saying, hey, can I get an availability list? And honestly, guys, I love you. I hate that question. Availability lists really don't do much. When you're talking about dwarf and super dwarf projects, it's all about the bloodlines. So for those of you who've watched Dave Kaufman's video when he came here, check the link right here. I'll actually jump to the time I'm talking about. There's a comparison between two animals, adults, that on paper are labeled the same, and that's a 75% Kalatoa Platinum. But when you see the size difference because of the different bloodlines that were used, it's massive. So you're gonna have differences in price, differences in size, all kinds of differences in an animal that on paper might look the same. And so really the better way to reach out and get a hold of me if you don't know what you're looking for and you wanna see a whole list, give me some criteria. Tell me, like, you know, what kind of price point you wanna be at, what's an ideal adult size for you. Please don't say 5 feet and under, because that doesn't really exist. There may be a 5-foot super dwarf out there. I think I have, this guy's pretty close. But even he is, this is a Kalatoa male, but even this guy's probably more like 6 feet. And you can see a 6-foot super dwarf. I mean, they're long and lean, so you're talking corn snake size. People always say, oh, I want to step up from ball pythons into something like a super dwarf, so maybe a 5 or a 6 to 7 foot animal. And this guy around 6 foot is obviously much smaller than a super dwarf is. I mean, I think he's 15, or I mean that a ball python is. I think he's 1,500 grams, somewhere in that neighborhood. Anyways, give me a price, give me a size, tell me any morphs or localities that you're after. You know, we can have a conversation about what would best fit you. And then the way it works here at Reach Out Reptiles is we actually have a waiting list. It's first come, first serve only. There's no BS. Nobody's buying their way to the front of the list or anything like that. What you do is, all I need is your name, your email, and your phone number. And if you want to get on the list, you got to email us info@reachoutreptiles.com. That'll be in the description below. And you can tell me what you're looking for, and we'll save you for a spot for any of these animals on next season. Now, a lot of people ask to get on my waiting list even though the animal they want is in stock, which doesn't make sense. So like if you want a super dwarf het albino female, she's right there. Just send over some money and you can have her. So the waiting list is for animals that have not been hatched yet. And while there's no obligation for money up front, When I hatch these animals, basically what it looks like is you get notification of when the eggs are laid. The animal might actually be produced pretty soon, and that's within that 3-month time period that they're going to incubate. You have to save up. So instead of doing like payment plans where I'm keeping your animal here for months on end like some other breeders work with, your payment plan will be done in advance. You know, think of it as what do you call it, layaway plan or something like that. Get your jar full of money, throw some animals in, you know, throw some money in for the animal, and then when it hatches out, you'll actually be able to, I'll say, hey, take a look, here's the whole clutch, this is everything that's available, take your pick. And rather than coming to me like right now at the end of the season and saying, hey Garrett, what do you got available that everyone else has already picked through? You know, a lot of these animals, like if you're looking for an animal like this is close to a $10,000 animal. If you're looking for an animal like that, I'm gonna wager that this is more of an investment really than as a pet. And here's a word that I like to joke around about. People will buy an expensive pet. Aiden has Crowley out there, and he's got one male reticulated python, Molly Golden Child. You want to tell us about your investment there, Aiden?
Yeah, he's just a pet. For now, at least.
Exactly. So there's a difference between buying an expensive pet and having an investment. When you spend your money on something and then you're like, oh, I ain't got no more money. That is not an investment. That is just spending your money. An investment is where you're actually planning something to put together for the future. I think what happens is a lot of times people get so excited, like maybe you've been watching our videos or hearing about Dwarf and Super Dwarf online somewhere, and just happens that this is the time of year that you want to start looking for something. So you reach out to us and ask about availability. And if there is none, what I see all the time is people get excited about, well, like, okay, well, what is available? I'll go ahead and buy that. I think that's the wrong perspective to have if you are looking to breed something. Now, pets, you fall in love with a snake, you love it, take it. That's your pet, give it a good home, you know, and that's awesome. So there's no problem with that. If you're really selective even in your pets, then probably something you want to wait around for the exact right animal too. If you do need those absolute minimum size animals and stuff like that to get along with your lifestyle, then that's what you need. But when you're putting together a group for breeding, and I get questions about this all the time, guys, there's a great 2-part series. You can watch the videos here, was it here? And here, about actually the way to think about putting together a group. But there's a perspective that you should have. You know, it's an investment into the future. It's kind of like walking onto a construction site and seeing a bunch of construction workers at work. They've got brick, mortar, and all the tools, and you ask the first guy, hey, what are you doing? And he says, I'm laying brick. You ask the second guy and you say, hey, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm building a wall. You see, he's got a little bit more of a vision. You can go up to the third guy and say, hey, what are you doing? And he says, I'm going to build a cathedral where people can connect to God for hundreds of years. And it's all about a matter of perspective. Now, if you're going for the big picture thing, grabbing whatever animal is exciting that you happen to have that much money in your pocket right now might not be the best strategy. So something for you guys to think about. But I hope you enjoyed that. You know, the Dwarf and Super Dwarf stuff, I mean, the market is strong right now. A lot of people are trying to get into these. And you can see that I literally have pretty much nothing to sell until the end of the year. There's a few high-end animals that are really gorgeous animals, and they're just waiting for that right buyer to discover their presence here. Maybe that's you, maybe it's not, but I've got a few animals to sell to get me through to the end of the year, and then we'll have those new ones coming. So you got to see all the animals. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about the purpose of our waiting list, how to get on it. And this is open to anybody, guys. I don't care if this is the only snake you buy from me and your budget is $400, or you know, if you've spent $100,000 with me in the past. You got to get on that waiting list, because if someone else was on there waiting longer than you, I'm gonna honor and respect that person's patience. So I love you guys. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time. Aiden, you have anything you want to add to that?
Bye.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend.